Okay. Um, my father and his mother, and Lord knows how many generations before, are musicians. My father's mother is from Scotland, an orphan girl, the only survivor in her family of the Spanish flu. She came alone to America, which at that time for Irish, Scottish, for Celts was New York City, um, and was a barroom singer. So singing in the bar, she exchanged flaming glances with a handsome young Irish politician. And they danced off into the night. And when she announced that she was pregnant, he announced that he was married.
Hmm.
So that didn't work out so well. Anyway, she was a barroom singer, died early of TB on Welfare Island in the East River, leaving my pop uh, to be a semi-orphan. Um, his father denied him, uh, scared of his wife. You know, I, I have a fairly full picture of that as a reality. Anyway, the father's mother said, "You're crazy. He's my kid. I'm taking him." So she took Frankie out of the orphanage and into her house, where he lived in the front room for until he grew up. He grew up being a bebop saxophonist and a singer. So he was singing and playing bebop on 52nd Street when I was born. 52nd Street in those days was jazz heaven. His mentors were Prez, who was Lester Young, and Eleanora Fagan, who was Billie Holiday. So that's those were his mentors. Those were the people he played with and learned from. And my sister Gail and I were the babies, the children in that environment. Her godfather is Dizzy Gillespie, a bebop dude. So we were bebop babies, and all my life the music is everywhere, and it has meaning. I won't go through 78 minutes of transitioning through the Caribbean and the Spanish Caribbean, but rest assured that is there and deep and deeply influential. And much of Caribbean music is contemporary, is about what's going on in Government House today, or that lady on Wild West Street, or this bunch of sailors, or America sailor, blah blah. It's mostly about what's going on right now, and often pointed. So that is naturally in there. And then when I came to the States on a sailboat. I was the bilge rat, the youngest, on a 50-foot catch, captained by an Irish dude who, with his two little girls, were on the last leg of a round the world tour in this sailboat. So I signed on as crew in St. Thomas and sailed to Miami. Um, the name of the boat is the Success. So before getting on the boat, I was living in a cardboard box on the side of a place called Sarah Hill. It's a hill named Sarah. Anyway, so I got to New York. From Florida. I sang my way to New York. A fan club of young girls, God bless them. Uh, I was, excuse the term, the poorest of the poor. I don't subscribe to everything that word means, but it's descriptive, that I had ever known in the island, my mother, my sister, and I. And I didn't know any poor white people except for myself, my mother, and my sister. And we occupied a unique place at the bottom of the barrel, except for the fact that we were artists. And as artists, we refuse to subscribe to the judgment and designs of squares. We were there because she was an artist. And what can I tell you? It's all about art and creation. And anyway, I got to New York on the first day I was there. I was signed by Doc Thomas, who was a great, great writer and wrote many of my favorite songs. Young Boy Blues, This Magic Moment, Save the Last Dance for Me, Viva Las Vegas, Go Jimmy Go, Teenager in Love, on and on and on. And Doc signed me as his artist, his production company, and to personal management. And was not joking. I mean, I played 3 songs for Doc, sitting on the piano bench that Mort sits on to write all these melodies. And I sing these 3 songs for Doc, and he sits, you know, he was the size of Buddha. He's sitting there naked in the middle of a triple-sized bed, and he closes his eyes, and his beard is flowing, and I'm sitting there barefoot, a wild child from the islands, and after a long silence, he says, "Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign you to personal management and sign you to my production company, and go down and tell the desk clerk to give you room. Get back up here and let's get started." So, yeah, okay.
That was a good encounter.
Yeah, oh, great. It's great. Anyway, so Doc said, "Scott, write standards. Write for all time, not just today." And I took that to heart. This magic moment is going to be magical in 5928, as it is in 1962. Mm. Save the Last Dance for me is going to be magical always. Anyway, so I can't pinpoint exactly what the bullseye is for writing standards, but some of that found its way into my work. And I think that's why the songs on South Atlantic Blues are as contemporary for many people today as they were when I wrote them in 1963, 64, 65, 66. Yeah. And it's a long way around to answer your question.